We are here at the site of the Battle of the Waxhaws, a Revolutionary War battle that took place here on May the 29th of 1780 between the Continental Army of about 350 Virginians commanded by Colonel Abraham Buford. They were fighting the troops, mounted troops of Colonel Bannister Tarleton of the British Army. There was a massacre that happened here. Apparently what happened is they waited until they were about 10 yards away. The Americans waited until the British troops who were charging on horseback were about 10 yards away before they fired, which was a big mistake. They were overran and just slaughtered wholesale. Basically, the story goes that even after a lot of the Americans had laid down their arms to surrender, Buford's men just massacred them. So just about all of the American troops either were killed or wounded. A lot of the men ended up dying of their wounds. What you see here is a monument, this marble obelisk that was erected in 1860 in honor of the men who died here. This is a mass grave. These men were buried right where they fell, basically. 84 men are said to be buried in this mass grave here. This is the original monument. You can see where the monument has been chipped away. The story goes that people would come here and chip off a piece of the obelisk here and take it home as a souvenir, which is just abhorrent. I don't know why anyone would do something like that. You know, they're desecrating basically a grave. But it's a pretty well preserved site. They've got it surrounded by a fence here, which is nice. You can still get in and walk around, but I think it probably should be locked. They have quite a few little deals set up here explaining the whole story. But what I want to do is I want to walk over here and just show you some of the monuments that they have. I'll read this to you. It says, Buford's Massacre, May 29th, 1780. On this site, Colonel Abraham Buford's force of about 350 American patriots, while returning to Hillsborough, North Carolina, following the fall of Charlestown, and really it was the fall of Charleston, South Carolina, were overtaken by British troops commanded by Colonel Bannister Tarleton. It is historically told that the Patriots' white flag of surrender was disregarded as Tarleton's forces massacred the Americans. 113 Patriots were killed and buried here in mass graves, 150 wounded, most of whom died within a few days. 53 captured and only a few escaped on horseback. From this battle came the war cry, "Remember Tarleton's Quarter." This monument is dedicated to the honored memory of the men who fought and died for our independence this 29th day of May of 2005 on the 225th anniversary of the battle. Now, this monument over here is the one that was erected in 1955. And they erected this monument because the one over there, it was so damaged by all the chipping and stuff that the inscription was very difficult to read. A copy of the original inscription is on the back of this. I'll show that to you. But first I'm going to read this. Buford's battleground. In order that all may continue to share the sentiments of that group of patriotic citizens of Lancaster County who erected a monument here on June the 2nd, 1860, the inscriptions of this memorial are the same as those on the original monument, erected by Waxhaws chapter Daughters of the American Revolution, and Lancaster County Historical Commission, May of 1955. And on the back, we can see what the original inscription on the obelisk over here says. Buford's battleground. It's hard to see, I know, because of the light and the shadow, but I'm going to read it. Erected to the memory and in honor of the brave and patriotic American soldiers who fell in the battle which occurred at this place on the 29th of May, 1780, between Colonel Abraham Buford, who commanded a regiment of 350 Virginians, and Colonel Tarleton of the British Army, with 350 cavalry and a like number of infantry. Nearly the entire command of Colonel Buford were either killed or wounded. Gallant soldiers are buried in this grave that left their homes for the relief of Charleston. Hearing at Camden of the surrender of that city, were returning here, their lives were ended in the service of their country. The cruelty and barbarous massacre committed on this occasion by Tarleton and his command after the surrender of Colonel Buford and his regiment originated the war cry, "Remember Tarleton's quarters." A British historian confesses at this battle, the virtue of humanity was totally forgot. So this is where it all happened. In this area here, and even across the road over there, was the battle line. And that whole area. It's a beautiful site. It's very well preserved. If you get an opportunity to come here, just look up Buford's Battleground on Google and it'll give you directions where you can come and see this. It's in Lancaster, South Carolina. We've got all these markers here that give more details. I won't sit here and read all of these because I want to leave something for you to come and see actually in person. All right, thanks for watching.